According to an article written by Mathew Archbold that was published on the National Catholic Register on the 21st of May 2017, atheism is the uncoolest choice ever, and he can prove it. Get your popcorn, kids, because this guy's gone full retard. This is Atheism is the Uncoolest Choice Ever, Debunked. So, Mathew, first and foremost, and as I've covered in other videos, belief isn't a choice. Something either makes sense to us or it doesn't. Sure, we can expose ourselves to certain arguments and resources, and we can say that we believe whatever we want, but we can't wholeheartedly really believe whatever we want, because that's just not how belief works. I mean, try it, Mathew. Try to believe that the universe was created by the 12 Olympians. You can't. You'll fail. Anyhow, now that we've addressed the title, let's get to the article itself. Number 8. Religious people live longer, happier lives according to numerous scientific studies. So unfortunately, Mathew doesn't provide a single link to any of these numerous scientific studies, and so to my annoyance, I've done his research for him. As it turns out, countries with a very short life expectancy are significantly more religious than countries with a very long life expectancy. To name but one example, Japan has the longest life expectancy in the world, being 75 years, and only 24% of their population considers religion important. While Somalia has a life expectancy of just 48 years, and over 98% of their population considers religion important. However, with this said, when we compare the life expectancy of religious and non-religious people from the same country, there is indeed some studies that show a correlation between religiosity and longer life expectancy. And these studies speculate that this has something to do with the community that religions tend to provide, which, considering that we're a social species, I'm not surprised by. But it simply has to be stated that even if it were conclusively proven that the religious live longer than the non-religious, this wouldn't make any religion true. A drunk person might be happier than a sober person, but the drunk person is still out of his mind. Number 7. Michelangelo and Bach, look 'em up kids, were indisputably awesome Christian artists. But hey, atheists have the kid who plays Harry Potter. Do you really don't want to be part of any group that includes the actor formerly known as Harry Potter? Or maybe you do, because that's how uncool you actually are. I honestly can't tell if he's being serious at this point. First of all, Michelangelo and Bach lived before Darwin discovered natural selection, and that absolutely matters. Before the discovery of natural selection, it was very hard to explain how complex and seemingly designed organisms can arise without a creator or creators. But we now know exactly how this can occur, and we have unimpeachable proof of it. Furthermore, Michelangelo and Bach were primarily artists, and art is a passionate subject that requires introspection and emotion, which is a type of intelligence, but it's not the type that develops an accurate representation of reality. That would be science. And according to a Pew study conducted in 2009, scientists are dramatically less religious than the general public. And another study conducted by Nature has found that less than 7% of elite scientists are religious. And finally, Daniel Radcliffe is a cool guy. Number 6. Typical atheist gathering vs World Health Day. Are you kidding me? 1. Even if atheist and secular gatherings were tiny compared to Christian gatherings, this would have no bearing on the truth whatsoever. At a time, most people believed in Zeus, but that doesn't mean that Zeus existed. This is an opaque appeal to popularity. Anyhow, two can play your dishonest game, Mathew. Just look at this atheist gathering versus this Christian gathering. Number 5. Most of your big-time mass killers of the 20th century were atheists. I'm talking Stalin, Mao and Che among others. Mathew, did you know that these big time mass killers were also non-stamp collectors, and that they all brushed their teeth? Why would you want to be a non-stamp collector? Why would you want to brush your teeth knowing that these killers brush theirs? The point being here is that you're committing a guilt by association fallacy, a type of red herring which attempts to discredit something based upon disfavoured people or groups associated with it. What you're essentially saying is that Joseph Stalin was an atheist, Stalin killed millions of people, and therefore atheism killed millions of people. But this is just as absurd and disingenuous as saying that Fred Phelps was a Christian. Phelps preached hate and picketed funerals, and therefore Christians preach hate and picket funerals. Find a single quote of these killers saying that they committed their crimes because of their lack of belief in God, and then we'll have a real conversation. Until then, just stop being so disingenuous. Number 4. This is an extreme Christian, and this is an extreme atheist. See the difference? Yeah. One is a fraudulent fanatic fundamentalist, and the other is a respected scientist who passionately defends facts and truth from fraudulent fanatic fundamentalists. To quote Hitchens, Mother Teresa was not a friend of the poor, she was a friend of poverty. She said that suffering was a gift from God. She spent her whole life opposing the only known cure for poverty, which is the empowerment of women and the emancipation of them from a livestock version of compulsory reproduction. She wasn't a good person, because her religion stopped her from being a good person. She is but one of countless examples of religion making otherwise decent and caring people say and do atrocious things. And again, even if Christianity made people nicer than non-Christians, this would not make Christianity true. After all, Jainists are almost certainly nicer than Christians, but that doesn't mean that Jainism is true. You seriously are the king of non-sequiturs, Mathew. Number 3. As a Christian, my wife looks at me like I'm a gift from God. Seriously, to her, that's what I am. Your atheist girlfriend, should you ever get one after you move out of your stepdad's basement, will see you as a gelhead accident in skinny jeans on a lonely rock orbiting a meaningless sun in a mistake of a universe. See the difference? It's kind of a big one. A gift from God, you say? Okay, I assume you met on April Fools. Anyhow, me and my atheist girlfriend frequently tell each other how lucky we are to enjoy however long we're able to be together in this universe that most certainly doesn't have us in mind. We don't pretend that the universe thinks we're special, but we know that we're special to one another. We don't have to make crap up. Number 2. Many of your college professors agree with your atheist beliefs. How's that for the uncoolest choice ever? Hey, look at you siding with the all-grey-haired, tweedy authoritarian types at your school. Does someone not like the fact that the more educated you are, the less likely you are to believe in barbaric inane nonsense? Ah, you're a dying breed, Mathew, and you know it. It might come as a surprise to you since you think that belief is a choice, but when you care about what's true and you actually get embarrassed about pretending to know things that you can't possibly know, that's when you'll appreciate that atheism is the honest answer. We don't share our professors' beliefs because they're cool. We share them because they're based on sound rationality and demonstrability, two concepts that you evidently don't appreciate. Number 1. Atheists have less children, and that probably means, well, you probably know what that means since you're all about science. What? It means that we care about the population crisis and we know how to use contraception. Furthermore, what do you mean by you probably know what that means? You do know that religiosity is almost exclusively a cultural phenomenon, right? Genetics has very little to do with it. Unless you're inbreeding, like, to be fair, your book implicitly endorses. If humanity had to start anew, from scratch, with no information whatsoever, Christianity, like all religions, would never return. But the truth would. In time, we would once again discover that the Earth is a sphere, that evolution is true, and that the universe doesn't care about us. Anyhow, Mathew concludes with, to sum up, you'll be miserable, have a shorter life, and quite likely less sex than your religious counterparts. And you thought atheism was cool. Reconsider and repent, ye fools. Jesus said that he is the way, the truth, and the life. Left unsaid, he's totally cooler than Richard Dawkins. And here's my conclusion. To sum up, Mathew, you're an insincere, lying, close-minded, deluded, scientifically illiterate egomaniac who doesn't know how to use a condom. You are, unfortunate to say, one of the most foolish and uncoolest idiotic mammals alive. Anyhow, to the rest of you, and as always, thank you kindly for the view, and remember to subscribe, lest you want to be as uncool as Mathew Archbold. Just before I go, however, I thought I'd share with you a cool gift that I received today. It's my birthday. My good friend Magnus sent me this, and it says, "To Hippie Atheist, congratulations on surpassing 1 subscriber.